Hello guys, Elven Warrior here and welcome to today's video. So before we get into it guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, be very much appreciated. You'll be helping the channel to grow, and also you'll be kept up to date with the latest content that I do release, so please make sure you do that. You do not want to miss out on anything that I do release guys. Alright, so what I've got for you today guys is another ultimate guide to the Wood Elves this time. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to talk through all the basic features of the faction of the Wood Elves. Obviously some of the basic features are the same for every single race, so obviously if you don't want to see about them, I will timestamp it so you can just skip to the bits that you want to watch. But hopefully the aim of this is to give you a better understanding of the workings of the Wood Elves. Okay, so let's get started then. So what we'll do, we'll click on this and we'll just go from things over here. So we'll start off with the growth. So it's called growth, but also it's called kindreds. Okay, so basically what happens is the growth reaches there. Instead of a population surplus, it is now called a kindred. So you require these to be able to, instead of requiring kindred for settlement upgrades, you can upgrade this at any point, but you just require the money to do so. It's more expensive and it takes longer to do so. So what you need the kindreds for is, as you can see, is you just need it for like certain buildings and at certain stages. Like for this one was free, didn't need a kindred for it. You did for that, and you do for each one of these and so forth. Like example here, this one doesn't require a kindred, but yet higher up it does. So that's the kind of things that you need it for. Okay, as normal, tax province. So toggle that on and off to either remove the tax penalty or to put it on. But if you do remove it, don't forget, obviously, you don't make no money from it, which is obviously the key part of what you need to do. Okay, so the next bit down here is corruption. So this will show any of the corruptions, whether it's untainted, which is this faction's obviously corruption of choice, or there's also Skaven corruption, which is coming from over here, Fester Spike, and also there's vampiric and chaos corruption also that can creep into provinces. Okay, so province effects. So what you'll have down here is basically, as the public order changes, this will change, and you'll get various buffs or debuffs depending on whether you get positive or negative. So the more positive public order you go, the more benefits you get, but you do get a debuff in public order because it tries, basically the game now wants you to be balanced. It wants you to try and stay around like 0 public order. So it'll give you, if you've got like lots of public order, it'll give you a penalty of like, I think once you get beyond like 50 positive public order, you get like a penalty of 8. And then if you got to like minus 50 public order, you get a positive of 8. But it also affects like growth, recruitment cost, recruitment duration, stuff like that. So yeah, just obviously just keep an eye on it. And then obviously, because we've got mostly untainted corruption, it enables attrition for vampiric undead armies that traverse these through our territory. Okay, so this first button is the settlement overview, which is this, what you can see here. So this is like the quick view of where you can just quickly build like stuff, just really simply. So it's really easy to use, and yeah, it's really good. The next button here is your garrison details. So this tells you about the garrison here that is defending this settlement. So as you can see, if you just hover over it, it gives you details and it shows you can see we're at full health. So that's all good. You can see what's in there, and yeah, it's really good. The next button, as you've seen before, is the building browser. So this is a more in-depth view of how you can basically plan your settlement of like, yeah, I need this building, oh, I need to get that building, definitely want to get these because they bring in income. So you know what I mean, you can plan your settlements. It's really, really good to use that. So the next button, recruit lord. So you'll come here and you can recruit any of these lords. As soon as there's a legendary lord that's disbanded, there'll be another option for legendary lords. So yeah, so for spell weavers, you can go through the different types of magic, different laws of magic, and you can select a lord from that type, and also the tree men, the Glade Lord males and the Glade Lord females. So yeah, and you can just recruit them from there. Next button is the hero recruit slot. So basically what you do here is, once you've got the capacity, these will be unlocked once you've unlocked the required building, and you can choose from your like hero type there. Okay, so next up we've got up here the treasury button. So as you can see, we've got our treasury amount there. That's what's in the bank, and this is what the projected income is of the next turn. And as you can see here, it just goes into a little bit more in depth. It tells you where it's coming from and basically what you're spending it on. And then also, if you so wish, you can click this button over here and go into greater details if you so wish. I barely ever touch that. Also, if you've got trade agreements, you can keep track of it by just pressing the trade one. As you can see, I don't have any trade agreements, so you can't view anything. There's nothing to view. Alright, so next thing you'll see up here is Amber. So given the Wood Elf rework that happened, basically Amber got reworked. It's not really an integral part of how Wood Elves play anymore. Basically how you gain Amber is by growing up the magical forests. Once you've got it up to there and you've performed the ritual, you'll be given an Amber. And basically the only way you spend it now is via the technology. So it's not tied into like the units like the Hawk Riders and stuff like that like it used to be. So it's a lot better off now, so you don't need to necessarily worry about it, but it does unlock some good technologies. Okay, this button down here is your objectives. Okay, so you've got your victory conditions. So you've got your long campaign victory. So this tells you exactly what you need to do to achieve your long campaign victory. And if you click the other button, it tells you what you need to do for your short campaign victory. Okay, the next bit, chapter objectives. So you'll get these every now and then, and basically it's for performing. It's basically to guide you along the campaign, really. But so there's this: at the start of a turn, have at least 100 forest health in Atholloran. So what it means is you've got to get to stage 2 here of the forest health for Atholloran, and you will unlock that. You will complete that task. And then here you have bonus objectives. So at the end of the turn, have an income of at least 2,500, and you'll get an extra 1,000. And then so on. Recruit a spell singer. Ensure the following building has been constructed. And as you can see, oh, we've defeated that, so we've gained that already. It's an extra 1,000. So each one of them is an extra 1,000. So, you know, it's totally worthwhile, especially for the Wood Elves anyway. You could get an extra 5,000 as well as that. So you could end up with 7,000 gold just for doing these. And these are all achievable, really achievable. So, yeah, that's really good. Okay, so the next one is diplomacy. So this is where you'll come to obviously speak to other factions, to get trade agreements, get non-aggression, and then there you go, like get that accepted. As you can see, like, yeah, that's like moderate. There's a, you know, it's not very clear as to whether they'll likely accept it. These, I don't think these do like that. The other ones were moderate. These ones were moderate. One accepted, one didn't. It's crazy. So, and look at that, they were just at 1 and they're at 2, and yet they accepted, they didn't. Really weird. So yeah, you just got to be careful. You can see who you're at war with, as you can see here. So get a trade agreement, hopefully. No, they won't take it despite liking you. So you can see all the different races, what factions are in that race that you've met, and then whether they like you, whether you're able to trade, or you can trade if there's that, and they'll allow it. Or you can't if you're either at war or there's no viable route to their like no direct route to their capital. So yeah, got to be careful about your reliability over here. You want to aim to keep it at very high. So if you've got agreements like that, you don't want to basically break that agreement and then declare war straight away, because otherwise you'll affect this and you'll go to very low, and literally if you have other factions that just dislike you, they'll just jump on the bandwagon and just declare war on you, and it'll just make your life a nightmare. You won't be able to do anything, especially as Wood Elves. You're kind of isolated as it is, so you don't want people to be jumping on you, like declaring war at all costs. Next button is technology. So this is the Wood Elf technology tree. So it's split into two. It goes two different ways, and then you've got a bit in the middle as well. So this is what I was telling you about. This is what the amber unlocks. There is some really good stuff in here. So you've got to be selective when you gain an amber, because you're not going to gain it at a frequent rate. So you've got to be really careful what you choose for. Just choose the best ones. Like this is a really good one. Extra ammunition, that's okay. This is really good. Decreases construction time. Extra growth and recruitment duration is also really good. Income from settlement buildings is okay, and stuff like that. That's good as well. Gain additional forest health from raising heathlands. That's not too bad. But there is other things as well you can get, like this one is okay. That one's actually lots better, but you've got to wait to go all the way around. So as you can see, that literally takes like 48 turns to get to there, and that's without doing any of these up here, and these are some good ones. So yeah, there's the technology tree for the Wood Elves. The next one, this is for Talsyn. So Talsyn and Argwylon have offices, but they're different. So this is like Orion, like based around Orion. So it's about the wild hunt. So what you can do once they achieve, like they need a required rank, as you can see it says up top here, required rank 1, a minimum rank of 1 to be there, and they have to be a minimum of rank 3 to be assigned to that one. And yet they're 1 as well, and they're basically, most of these are just like local effects. So yeah, they're not great, but yeah, if you can, you're gonna struggle to have this many armies anyway as Wood Elves, so you've just gotta try and do your best and choose whichever one's gonna be best for you. Next one is the Sword of Khaine. So what you as soon as you have access to the Sword of Khaine building, basically you're able to draw the Sword of Khaine, and you'll just basically have a load there, and you'll select that to be able to draw the Sword of Khaine. So yeah, it's all the other elves, high elves, dark elves and Wood Elves, they all have this ability because they can build the building and they can draw the sword out. Okay, so the next button is the Deeproots. Alright, this is the amazing feature that got brought in with the Sisters and the Twilight. The Sisters of Twilight. So good. Basically, it's this button here. Basically, after turn 10, you're able to use the world roots. The Deeproots, and you can literally just send someone to. They can be within the Oak of Ages there, just anywhere within the territory, and you can just be like, right. I want to go to this forest down here, alright, Orion's camp. Literally press that and your army teleports down there and can move as long as they've got movement. Oh, it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And then, yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, the Deeproots. Okay, so as you come up here, you can see the mini-map. So you can close that off, you can open it up, you can zoom out, you can drag it along, and it just shows you, like, as you explore, all the grayed out bit will like clear, and it'll give you more vision. You'll be able to see who's got what territory. Paravan's got that, Argwylon's that, Carricknorn's there. Oh, that's ruins, but it's not, it's Skaven. So yeah, that's that. This button here is the missions and quests. So whenever you get, like, as it says, any missions or quests, so like for instance for Orion, you get his special unique items. Most of them will require quests to do, so they will appear there. You can just click on it and you'll be able to view what you need to do and basically what rewards you'll get from it. The next button is events. So what will happen here is basically all world events that happens, whether it's diplomacy, construction, recruitment, it all happens here. It all shows you everything you need to know. It shows you there. There you go. Units recruited. Shows you everything you need to know. The next button, Lords and Heroes. So this will show you every Lord and Hero that you have currently recruited. So it also includes the disbanded Lords that you have. They'll just be like greyed out, but they're in your recruitment pool. Unfortunately, the same doesn't happen to Heroes. As soon as you disband them, they die. Effectively killing them, okay? So if it's a trait that you want, don't disband it because you will lose it. But they will stay there if they're wounded. And they'll just have like a little skull mark and tells you how many turns until next available. Next button is provinces. So it shows you all provinces that you have discovered that you're able to see, and yeah, you can just see basically what the income is of your own provinces. You can see public order, and also it shows you here like that's a complete province. It's only one settlement, but it's its own province. Like here, this is a ruin. That's contested province. So it'll have that symbol if it's contested, that symbol for a ruin, and then like I said, it'll have the faction banner of a completed region. The next one is known factions. So this is just a quicker version of the diplomacy. It just shows you all the factions that you've met, whether you're able to trade, whether they like you, their strength ranking, whether you're at war. It shows you all the good stuff like that. So that's not too bad. Okay, so for Wood Elves as well, for every single Wood Elf faction, no matter which faction you start off, whether it's Argwylon, Sisters of Twilight or Drycha, you start off with the Oak of Ages. Alright, so this is a special, unique building to the Wood Elves. They get the basically benefits from it, and basically each time you upgrade it, you get particular benefits. Like here, stage 2 unlocks Confederation missions with Torgavon and these guys here. Alright, and then also you get extra magical health +1 per turn to local magical forests. So it'll be pretty much, I think it's just the Oak of Ages. And also it gives public order faction wide as well, and also ups the garrison. So each stage it provides different things, like unlocks Confederation missions with Argwylon, Talsyn, Heralds of Ariel, and then other things increase, and then as you go up it gets like more and more, and then basically the top level after you've you've got to complete the Ritual of Rebirth to be able to upgrade it to the final one, and you get literally all these benefits. Let's go on here. You get all of these benefits faction wide, which is fantastic. There's some really, really good benefits there. So then what you do, like I said, to get the forest health, we briefly went over it, but I'll go over it more. So to get the forest health, you see these are Heathlands. So you'll see that this is a Heathland, this is a Heathland, this is one, this is one, this is one, and this is one. So it's usually around a magical forest. It's usually ones that are just surrounding it. So like Forest of Gloom over here, it's like again, it just comes round like this. Just pretty much just any settlement that's just literally touching the border with it, that's a Heathland. But you can tell by this symbol, and it also tells you there which is where the Heathlands are and whether they're providing basically the forest health or not. So if they're a ruin, they'll provide forest health, but that's how we know that they're scaving there, because it's not providing forest health. And plus this symbol will go green if it is, because as you can see that's red and we're losing one. And then basically, yeah, like we said, as you go on, as you improve it, gain more forest health, it comes all the way up, and once you get to the maximum 500, you can perform the ritual, and basically it'll take a number of turns to complete, and then once it's complete, it stays at that. It cannot go down. It's brilliant, and it unlocks these benefits stay permanently and stuff like that. It's really, really good. And it's the same with the other ones. They just don't go as high. That's the one that goes to the most, 500. But the more you, like, the idea is you go heal these magical forests first, because these all help towards rebuilding this. So if you look at each stage, +1 per turn, Athol, which is there, +2, +3, +4, and each one is like that. So the idea is to perform the ritual, like heal these forests, perform the ritual, and then they stay, the benefits stay, and then they all contribute towards this, which is fantastic. Okay, so this button here is the faction summary. So this is the faction summary of Talsyn. So as you can see, you click on it, it brings up all this. So you can see the details, where your capital is, how many provinces owned, settlements owned, what your treasury, income, the faction effects, which is enables the unique Wild Hunt event, leadership +10 during forest battles, and -15 upkeep reduction for cavalry units. And suitable climates tells you where suitable. For wood elves it's all. They have none unpleasant, none uninhabitable. So over here, faction power, it tells you how many armies you've got and what capacity you can have for your heroes and how many you've got. This is just a quick overview of your diplomacy as well, who your allies are, who you're at war with, and what trade partners you have. So if you want, you could click this button. It shows you the records of what's happened and in what scale. Statistics button, it tells you exactly all the statistics, how many settlements, everything you want to know, it can tell you right here. Okay, so just to also let you guys know another thing as well about all the wood elves, they cannot so when they, like, for instance, if you spread out, you take Quinels, you take Carcassonne, if you took them, you can only build them to like tier 1. So like these can be like obviously built to tier 5 by other factions, and tier 3. Wood elves can only build them to tier 1 and can only build like 1 building there and potentially 1 or 2 in major settlements. It depends. However, there is difference. Because they can only occupy magical forests and build them like this. So Game Vale, Forest of Gloom, Griffinwood, Laurelorn Forest, the Witchwood, Orion's Camp, Sacred Pools, and so on. That's all of them. So they can be built up to tier 5 just like this. However, there is one exception as to the wood elves being able to build higher tier settlements, and that is Elven colonies. So whenever you see like there's one over here, I think if I remember right, it's over around here because it's where Eltharion starts. Grunty Mingle, that's it. This is an Elven colony, so you can build Elven colonies up to tier 3. So and also as well, the wood elves cannot build walls, so it's a bit of a crapper, but it's, you know, it's part of their law. They're a forest faction. They don't build walls. They're not really civilized. So yeah, that's about it. So other than that, they don't like these wood elves don't really have any faction mechanics, and I believe Argwylon are the same, but I'll cover them. So yeah. That's it for Talsyn, and we'll move on to the next faction. Okay, so here we are, Argwylon. So this is how Deeproots starts. So as you can see, there's an army straight away for you to attack. That's like part of the update as well. There never used to be an army so close as the Talsyn. I forgot, like obviously I didn't get to see because I'd gone on by turn, but there was beastmen that start there. As you can see, you start off with the Oak of Ages, like I said, and their faction summary is basically he has Elder, he has recruitment cost for -50% for branch wraiths, and a melee attack +10 during forest battles. That's it. He doesn't have any faction mechanics. He's the base Wood Elf Lord, just like Orion. So yeah, he's got nothing like special really. So on that note, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so on to the Sisters of Twilight now. So I'll get to show you what I mean. So I've just taken this just to show you. As you can see, it can only be built up to tier 1. And basically you get a choice of 4 buildings. These are the only 4 buildings you can build outside of the forests. And basically the same with the Elven colonies. The only good thing is that you can build more than one. So yeah, that's literally it. The same with some of the major settlements as well, where it allows 2. It just means you can build two different ones. That's literally it. Okay, so the faction summary for the Sisters of Twilight is they get access to the Forge of Daith, craft and upgrade unique weapons, armour and items offered by the Master Smith Lord Daith, ammunition plus 10% all armies, and ability Volley of Kurnos for Hawk Rider units, which is amazing. Right, by far this faction is the best Wood Elf one that's out there. Honestly, this is so good. The Sisters of Twilight are amazing. Not only did he get access to Ariel, the legendary hero, quicker, just by completing this ritual for this forest, they then get access to Ariel. Amazing. The Forge of Daith, fantastic. Such a good mechanic. So as you saw, just show you, it's up here. You just click on that, and basically, as you can see, you've got 1 favour. So basically, what you can do, you're able to unlock something. You're able to unlock stage 1. So you get a dragon item, an eagle item, twilight item, a dreaming item, or Daith's blessings, which is effectively like the rights which the Warhammer 2 races have. So yeah, they get access to these, which is good. So which one is it? This one here is the exact same as Vol's, the Invocation of Vol for the High Elves. You get a Vol's Hammer ability, and you get it for 5 turns. Really good. Immune to attrition. It's the same as Isha's Blessing for the High Elves, and then just obviously Wood Elf specific ones here. So yeah, it's really good items. So they literally, there's 1 for each slot. So if I just show you on here, so basically 1's an armor, 1's a weapon, 1's a talisman, and 1's an enchanted item. So you can get like basically a full set if you want and put it on a lord or hero, or you can mix and match whichever you want. And what you do is you upgrade them. So we've got 1 favour cost, we can upgrade that, we can gain that, and then you can upgrade it to 3, and then you can reforge it, which is a temporary upgrade, but it buffs it, like severely buffs it. So if we compare it, so level 3 of the Twilight Standard is recruitment cost minus 25% own army, vigor loss reduction minus 44% own army. Whereas if you reforge it, you get global recruitment duration minus 2 turns for all units for that army, whoever, obviously whichever lord's got it, or hero. Perfect vigor for the army, and a recruitment cost minus 30% and global capacity plus 2. So really good, and you get that for 5 turns. That's really, really, the upgrades is really good. So if you know there's a difficult situation coming, you've got you're anticipating some tough battles, and you go through, you choose something. Like my personal favourites are these dreaming ones. They're really good. Extra campaign movement range, construction cost reduction, really handy early game. Casualty replenishment in foreign territory, really good. Extra magic as well. Dreaming cloak, upkeep reduction, again, really good early game. So these are by far my favourite equipment, but there is some other good ones as well. So yeah, so this is why the Sisters of Twilight is definitely my favourite Wood Elf faction to play. They're just so good and so fun. So yeah, that's everything on that, and we'll move on to the final faction now. Okay, so on to the final Wood Elf faction, which is Drycha. She starts off in the Griffin Wood, and I'll just show you. I didn't show you for the Oh, yeah, she doesn't start off with the Oak of Ages because technically she's banished. Okay, so I know for a fact the Sisters of Twilight starts off with the Oak of Ages, so Drycha doesn't. All right, that's cool. That's awesome. So it just shows you how much I've played of her. Okay, so yeah, let's just do her faction mechanics. So she has diplomatic relations -40 with Wood Elves. Like I said, she's an outcast. Upkeep -10 for Dryad for basically true units. All armies. Upkeep increase of 10% for all Elven units because she hates elves. All elf units are glamoured, reducing their combat power and making them expendable because she does not like elves. Alright, so yeah, she again, like, even though she was the free LC, she doesn't have a faction mechanic, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, that's her faction mechanic, faction summary there. That's unique to her, and that's literally about it. So okay, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed these videos, please don't forget to leave a like. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you've enjoyed them or if they've been useful. Really appreciate the feedback, guys. And I'll see you all for the next video.